Hey gamers, welcome back to Square One Games. My name is XONEVANT, and on today's show of the Daily Dose, I have a very special friend and brother. Go ahead, introduce yourself, man.
My name's Kenny. I go by Blaze Primed on the PS Network, and I'm the older of the two.
Yes, the older, much wiser of the two. I'm the riffraff. But y'all probably seen my brother playing on some of the Black Ops 2 games with me online through previous episodes and Battlefield 3. Tell him a little bit about when we started playing multiplayer. I think I've told him before, but you didn't start playing until 2 Christmases ago, right?
Yeah, actually, the first time I ever played a first-person shooter, let alone a multiplayer game, was Thanksgiving Day,
right?
About 2 years ago. I literally hated first-person shooters. I would rather be stabbed in the eyeball than
twice.
I tried it a couple times. Like, my friends would bring over, Modern Warfare or something like that, and I would play for about 10 minutes and want to throw my controller through the TV. Like, it wasn't appealing to me. I didn't like it. I mostly played sports and fighting games and the occasional RPG every now and then, but I was a real big NCAA fan. Street Fighter and Tekken are my 2 favorite fighting games. And until you came over that Thanksgiving and brought Battlefield and kind of forced me to watch you play it, I really didn't want anything to do with it.
And what do you think that comes from? Because I know we're a little bit older, I guess, than most. I mean, we're not like over the hill, but we grew up on retro games, and it's all campaign. I remember, you probably remember this too. I mean, if we wanted to play with a friend from school, it had to be like arranged. You know what I mean? Like, we had to get permission from the parents. Our mom had to be willing to cook that night and clean up the kitchen and all that stuff. And it was just like this big event. Whereas now when you want to play online, you just hop on there, sign in, and you're good to go. But back in the day, it was we had to pull some strings. We had to, like, clean the house up, to have friends come over. You remember that, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I remember we hijacked our cousin's Legend of Zelda game.
Oh, yeah, baby.
As soon as he got a Super Nintendo, we jacked his game. We invited him over to play ball.
Yep.
And we didn't actually play any basketball. We played a Zelda game all night.
And we took it down in a weekend. We took it down in one weekend. We played it.
For me, I didn't play a lot of multiplayer, or I didn't want to, because I always felt like they were cheap, I guess. Because it didn't, like, no one could really tell me how I was dying or why I was dying. In game, that's a big deal. Like, I can play NCAA football, and if you beat me, I can go back and figure out how you beat me. If you beat me at Tekken, I can go back and figure out how you did it, because I understand the engine. I understand how the game works. But I guess because I started with Call of Duty, and there were some broken games kind of in the beginning. You didn't aim down sight. Well, if I aim down sight, I'm not fast enough to kill you.
Right.
So,
go ahead.
It was just frustrating, and I'm not gonna play games to be frustrated. That's,
right.
Aside from, like, my job and stuff, that's my chosen hobby. That's my downtime. And the last thing I want to do is throw my controller across the room over a game.
And it seems like that the state of multiplayer is such where I think people sometimes get on multiplayer to get mad at people. I think that they actually sit down at night and get the chips out and the drink. They get their dinner in them, and they actually want to go online and make people mad. And that's why I like playing the campaigning games, because the AI can make me mad, but it's not a human. You know what I mean? And it's programmed to only stress me out so long before I can figure it out. But when you're dealing with the person on the other end, I give the example like this, and I think you would agree. Like, going to a movie theater, right? You're going to share that experience with a couple hundred people. You pay your $20. If you're married, you probably pay more. And most people, when they go to the theater, they end up buying, like, drinks, popcorn. So, you're dropping $40 if you're out, with a couple or something. God forbid you got kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and you're sharing that experience with people. And at the beginning, it says quieten your cell phones, and you run the risk, right, of not everybody abiding by that rule, even though that's like common knowledge and just common courtesy. I kind of see it sometimes like that's the way it is in multiplayer. There are people who play multiplayer games with the sole purpose of not turning their cell phone off. They go in there, right, with their megaphone in their pocket. You know what I mean? They're ready to ruin your movie experience. And you know how it is in a movie, man. If somebody ruins your experience, it's just not even worth it. And would you agree that that's kind of how multiplayer kind of is sometimes?
Yeah, and you know, I think that's why I gravitated to Battlefield first, because you only talk to the people that are in your squad.
Like 4 people, yeah.
Yeah, and then like it's just 4 guys, and usually it's me and 3 guys that I already know, or I can just mute everybody and not have to deal with it.
Correct.
And then Battlefield actually seemed like it was less chaotic, and it seemed like it was a lot more of a team atmosphere. Like, I think the reason I played Battlefield 3 was because even though I wasn't good at multiplayers yet, I wasn't by any stretch of the imagination good at first-person shooters. I could run support, I could get suppression kills, I could supply ammo, I could blow tanks up with C4. Like, I found things I could do right away to contribute to the team and still lead a leaderboard and not even get 2 or 3 kills, you know.
And you're right, because I remember us playing, and you would, and I wasn't a pro either. I had just started playing maybe a month before you started playing, or a couple of weeks. But I remember there were times where you would beat me on the leaderboard and even lead the lobby, and all you did was resupply ammo.
Yeah, and set bombs. Like,
right.
I've been playing, we started playing Black Ops 2 Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And Black Ops 2 is the first Call of Duty game I actually set out to play.
Correct.
Because a lot of my friends that have PlayStations, they play Black Ops. So I can play with 3 or 4 people in a party, and it's a lot more of a social game than Battlefield, because a lot of my friends don't have the patience to play Battlefield.
They're definitely 2 different sides of the coin.
Yeah, so I play Battlefield if I want to play more serious, and I'll usually only play that with maybe you and maybe King James every now and then when he's on. But I mean, I don't play a lot of Battlefield right now because it's a steep learning curve. A lot of people said, oh, when you come to Call of Duty, it's going to be really hard, but Call of Duty, to me, is a lot easier than Battlefield. I mean, you take a light machine gun in Battlefield and hold the trigger down for more than 2 seconds, and you're shooting clouds.
Yeah, you're shooting at the sky. Yeah.
You can put that in 48 Black Ops 2 and hold it down until the whole clip is dry, and you're dead on without even using a foregrip.
Yeah,
it's just a different game, and I built like a good, I guess, a level of admiration for Black Ops, because it's a different game, and I've learned to appreciate it as a different game. I was a pretty big hater until it came out, up to the point that it took 3 or 4 people that I knew didn't really care for it to say they liked it first before I would really give it a shot. But it's definitely more of a social game, and I like that. But I still like the team concept and the camaraderie that you get with like a Battlefield, and the fact that we can play with like other subscribers from all over the world.
Yeah,
Played guys from the UK one night. They couldn't understand us. We couldn't understand them.
Shots, yeah, he had a weird accent. Yeah, Shots, if you're out there, man, we love you, dog. Yeah, that was a fun night, and that's kind of how I see multiplayer. You know, when you play campaign, it's just you versus the computer. There is no interaction. The only interaction you get is from somebody who can't talk to you, you know, the AI. But that's what I like about multiplayer. But I don't take it, I'm like you, man, I don't take it seriously. It's in any multiplayer. I mean, obviously I want to win, and when I'm in the thick of it, obviously I'm heated, you know what I mean? I'm ready to win. But I don't get mad when I die. I mean, you play with me a lot. I don't get mad when I die. I just shake it off and you know, try to keep it positive. But I think some people, I don't know, they think it just it feels like sometimes they look at multiplayer and it's almost like it affects their real life. You know what I mean? Like if they die in the game, it's like they're dying in real life. Like they take it so seriously, and it's like I I think, like you said, multiplayer to me is just like Facebook or Twitter. It's just another place to socialize with people. But because of the fact that there's people who don't want to quieten their cell phones, if you get my drift, that you can't take it seriously. And I think if you play multiplayer knowing that people aren't going to quote-unquote quieten their cell phones, then you really don't have no reason to complain. Like, when we bought Black Ops for $60 at Christmas, we already knew that there was going to be some issues with the game, right? I mean, we already knew that there was going to be some people going on there, because I got stuck in a corner one night with a riot shield dude. He just put me in a corner and I couldn't move. But I knew that going into it. You see what I mean? If I know that there's going to be a bunch of people who's not going to quieten their cell phones in the theater, then I just don't go. And if I do go, I can't get mad that they're doing it when I get there. Do you agree, or am I off base?
You know, going into it, that's going to be part of it. I mean, we didn't have the game in the console 5 minutes, and we get into a lobby.
We got cursed out.
Thing, 5 seconds into the lobby, there's a 13-year-old kid giving it to a guy who's got to be in his late 20s. I mean, just laying into him, saying stuff that, you know, you don't expect anybody to really say, but it's coming out of the mouth of a 13-year-old. You know, it's just, you just mute the lobby.
Yeah, like I wouldn't put up with somebody speaking to me that way in real life. You see what I mean? I wouldn't put up with you speaking that way to me, and we're virtually the same age. But much less somebody that's younger than me or older than me. I don't care who you are. You know, so, but it seems like when you're online, there is no rules, right? It's just like a no holds barred, and it becomes more than about the game. Like, people will start trashing you about other things that have nothing to do with the game at all.
Every time I get into a lobby, if I don't mute it right away, it's automatic. Somebody brings up race.
Race, yeah.
They make it about race
or sexuality,
Yeah, it's always some kind of gay slur, or it's just typical 6th grade kind of stuff. And,
yeah.
And what's sad is these guys are in their 20s a lot of the time.
Let me go ahead and make this statement. When we talk about 13-year-olds versus older guys, there's no age discrimination on immaturity, right? You can be 60 and be immature.
Exactly.
What we have a problem with is not necessarily somebody's age, but just the fact that people don't want to quieten their cell phones. That's it. To me, it takes an immature person to not quieten their cell phones. You see what I mean? You get my analogy there, right? And that's kind of why I've always sided more toward campaign, because it's just me and the challenge in front of me. You know what I mean? And you know, you can't ever determine if you're really a good player in multiplayer. It depends on which game type you're playing. It depends on which mode you're playing. It depends on if you're playing in a party or not in a party. Squatted up, not squatted up, right? I mean, there's too many variables for you to say I'm the best player in this, that, and the other. Even if you have, like, I know Black Ops KD is like some big thing, but if you have a high KD, how were you playing? I mean, were you rolling in the party versus somebody who wasn't rolling in the party? I mean, how did you get that high of a KD? Was it because you were playing the best players in Black Ops, or were you playing the worst players in Black Ops? And it goes with Battlefield 2. So it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to find the line sometimes between it, because, you know, we're fairly new. Being a year into multiplayer is not a long time when it's been around for years, you know?
Yeah.
And there's been so many iterations of not just Battlefield, but Call of Duty. So we're kind of new. But sometimes, you know, it's just like going in and getting hired at a job. You know, the fresh eyes, the people who are just coming in, they see more about your job than you will ever see, because they're fresh. They see all the mistakes from day one. You know what I mean? And but mainly we just play it just to hang out, and that's how we kind of view multiplayer. But I feel like the state of multiplayer is, you know, if you're immature, man, you shouldn't be playing. You know what I mean? You're just ruining it for everybody else. But for the people who still continue to play, you can't complain, because you know you know that people are trying to ruin your experience. And that's just kind of how I see it. Well, that's about it, man. Anything you want to add before we head out here?
I think I'm good, man. I'd love to play some more Battlefield with some subscribers. That was a lot of fun, and you know, if they have Black Ops 2 on PlayStation, I'm down for that as well.
Yep, and I know we've been thinking about getting a server this year too for Square One Games for Battlefield. Obviously, you can't get it for Black Ops, but with Battlefield, you can't rent your own servers. But we're still looking into that. I know that you're going to help me out with that, I think. My brother is a huge supporter of the channel. He's been a huge supporter of me. I can bounce ideas off of him. So most of the stuff you see on the channel, you know, I've usually have bounced it off him first, and I appreciate him being a good, not just a brother, but, you know, a good friend. Because I think if you have a sibling like that, if you just look at him as just a brother or a sister, I don't know, it's different. You know, like we're best buddies. You know what I mean? And it's a good thing, man. So, all right, we will see you guys in tomorrow's episode. You guys be good.